Hello, good morning. I'm sorry, good evening, good morning in India, and good evening everywhere in USA. And I hope everybody is doing well. And I'm starting my room on spirituality. This is the last session that we'll be doing, and hopefully, okay, we started on the wisdom app also. Welcome everybody. Good evening. This is Rao Kulusu. Uh, I'm now starting Instagram also, and hopefully, I'm trying to see this is in focus. Okay, and okay, so welcome everybody. I'm with friends on Wisdom, Clubhouse, and Instagram, and also other channels like Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Uh, I'm Rao Kulsu. For those people who don't know me, I'm an internist, internal medicine for about 40 more some years in United States, and I'm an informatician and also yoga practitioner. I've been doing this series on spirituality, which is to be simple, to be positive, and to be calm. And that those things, yeah, each person has to evaluate for themselves. And the less you are reading about things and erudition scholarship and all that, the more you are spiritual, you are in your spirit and happy and contented and simple, positive, and calm. You know, so that's my perception of real spirituality is not to belonging to any particular um, faith or religion, just for the sake of being there. But then, if they are root to your spirituality, they are fine. But I see that there is no need even for that. Just be ourselves. Anyway, we covered food, activity, sleep, and this morning about mind and the thought and meditativeness. So today we're going to finish with that meditation and thought and how to really be in a clear mind, but active, but not really congested, and then really appreciate who we are, right? So with that. I want to present a very simple way of meditation is sit down, close your eyes, and focus on the breath. That is the initiation. And then focus on one particular object outside, and finally withdraw from that object and be focused on one thought, and eventually go beyond that. This may take several months or several years, but if you really find yourself agitated and scattered thought and thoughts are unconsciously happening and compulsive, then you are bothered by the innumerable thoughts. You want to deliberately see that that thought is not scattered but focused and concentrated, and also want to keep your thoughts positive rather than negative. All these are advantages of taking some time of our routines and sitting down and really getting our thought together and focused and purified. And then you can see who you really are behind the thought body mechanism, that spark of life, that consciousness that is our life. Once you see that, everything else becomes much more easier. So all the time I talk about being attentive, really focused on what we are really doing all through the day, and that way you will always be focused on whatever you are doing, and the thoughts are only limited to that. Or sometimes you may not even have to have thoughts, and you can be doing something that you are familiar with in flow. That means with a calm mind, your hands will be doing the job, but your mind will be silent. That's what I learned by the grace of uh, this ancient wisdom. And Raman Maharshi always talked about doing your job with your hands, but not with your mind, in the sense that you're unnecessarily thinking of extraneous thoughts to the job. Okay, you can focus, you can use the technique, you can use the knowledge for that job, but be oriented to that, be concentrated. So like I'm doing a doctor job, I'm focused on that, I'm focused on my patient, I'm focused on the relieving the suffering of them, and also bring in all the knowledge that is needed for that. But I don't have to think about I am doing this, or I don't have to think about like without me it doesn't happen, something like that. And also I don't have to look for the compliments or money or anything like that. They will come, whatever they come, you can use them for the needs you have, but otherwise you are not bonded to the money and everything coming in. So two things: no agency, like I am doing this job, and then second thing is no seeking of the results, like anything psychological or physical or any of the results, right? You don't want to. So that is called nishkama karma. I mentioned it several times. That means without accepting, without anticipating, without expecting any results, you do any job. You just do the duty for the duty's sake. Then mind gets purified, and then when you practice this concentration I talked about or awareness I talked about, then the mind gets focused. If it is focused and pure, then it will turn and discover that soul, the spirit or consciousness, self, whatever you call it. Some people call it as the God itself, reflecting through you. Whatever it is, you will only see that, you will only be in touch with that when your mind is quiet and purified. Okay. So those are two requirements to get to this deep meditation, where you say, how can you withdraw from outwardly life and then sit at least for a while, at least 5 to 10 minutes in the morning and 5 to 10 minutes in the more so in this modern age, because we have such a um, high amount of information coming into our mind and really making us occupied with that and hesitating the mind, and also really driving us sometimes uh, really uh, bad, in the sense people feel like I'm overwhelmed with information, I'm overwhelmed with all these reactions I'm having inside my mind to the stimuli that are coming to me. I am overwhelmed with the multiple stimuli. All those things are modern phenomena and information age. And so all these devices, all this are good if you use them with control, and so that they are not in control, but we are in control. So don't go after social media for whatever it is, but focus it to the your goals, to your lifestyle, to your thing that is suited for you. An hour of entertainment in a day is okay, but if you have entertainment all day, there may be something problem there. Okay, those kind of things. So to calm your mind, that's one of the important factors of keeping away from the at least 1 hour before sleep, shut them down. And when you wake up, don't switch them right away. At least 1 hour after the device, after the sleep, you waken up, and then you open your devices. That's what I always recommend. So practice awareness through the day. That means practice being attentive to everything that you do, and then you can prepare yourself to sleep in a nice way, where you wash up all the things that are in your mind. That also meditation helps you, and in the morning when you wake up, you'll have a lot more energy. Okay, so there is a real big attack by the social media on our attention span. Protect it. Don't be succumb to that. That's my sincere advice. A lot of people do a lot of things, lose their attention span, and then they cannot bring that attention to important things of taking care of people or doing your job and all that, right? People are really suffering with the burnout and stress, which I am seeing all the time. and which I try to help through my website, BFL, and also with my wellness club, with my programs. I have comprehensive self care, stress reduction, and also leadership training from egotistical to service leaders, like servant leaders. So, from egotistical behavior to servant leadership is what the transformation course I teach. All those things are needed in this day and age if you are really occupied with all this information. So one of the antidotes for that is calming your mind, practicing this, getting all the things out is very very important. That is what I have been talking about. It's a deep stuff subject because thought, mind, meditation are very subtle things, and they're all inner. So you got to bring your attention from outward to inward and intuitively feel who you are and stay in that. Then this movement of thought will automatically stop. That's a big practice. It's a very, very deep practice. It is something very difficult for a lot of people to do. But once you are there, you're always blissful. That's what I talk about. You are in bliss because your mind is not moving unnecessarily. You are in bliss because you are peaceful inside. You are in bliss because you are not pursuing any external small pleasures. You are beyond that. That kind of attitude will really help you. Okay. It helped me. That's what I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to say to you that all these things are important. I'm not here to save you. Sorry about the word, but I'm here to say to you that internal peace, internal happiness can be found even in the midst of external difficulties. That is what I was able to do when I had health problems, money problems, or professional problems, whatever it is. This kind of internal orientation on the inner self, which is really us, really helped me not to let my thinking get me down, not to let my thinking go beyond, not staying with what is happening, what is present, and that really helped because the movement of thought is stopped by itself. Okay, so that is what I always talk about. First, look at this. See whether you are able to take criticism from somebody. If they point out something, can you take it? Or you are able to eat well, sleep well, and feel well, and also you have the resilience to encounter the practical difficulties of the life. Everybody can have them, right? Either you can lose somebody, you can have an accident, you can have disease. All these things where we can we all of us really have it. That's something that we always encounter. Even if you think that everything is set, everything is going well, things can happen to people. We don't want that to happen, but it can happen. Then how can we respond with resilience? So this kind of understanding of the importance of really taking the control of ego or thought built ego or thoughts, right? So then the question comes: is there a mind? Is there a persona? Is there an ego? Or we are just building them up as thought construct? Once we realize they are all thought construct, we can separate a little bit with the distance with the meditation, and then observe those thoughts and control them and change them from negative to positive. That is called pratipaksha bhavana. Like that, so many techniques are there around the world. They're all controlling the projection of the thought, projection of the mind, right? But once the mind is understood and discovered there is no mind, the only thoughts, and even thoughts are controlled, then you go into real destruction of that thought construct, ego and mind, and that is called manunasha. Then there is no mind to project, and you can be even kill all the time and use the thought when you need it. Suppose I'm going to the work, I can use the thought to study the patient history, to examine the patient, to prescribe everything, to follow their on the. But I can stop there. When I come home, attend to my plants, attend to my parents, attend to my children and my wife and all that, right? So we can do all of that. So we can really live our life instead of just getting immersed in the information with the devices, with the social media, with all the work all the time. Just don't doing all the time. Being is important too. The simple solution is just be in yourself and just do. Don't lose the be by doing so much doing that doing engulfs you so that you have no time to pay attention to how you are inside, how your being is. So you got to have a resilience program to culture the nurture the being inside. That is where a lot of companies are failing, are not able to attend to them. Even the burner programs I have seen, none of them are really working because people are not able to nurture the being. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about. If anybody wants to come up and ask me any questions, I'll be able to answer them because these are pretty deep subjects. If you want to lecture just on the anatomy of thought, thought construct, and how thought can go out of vary, it takes a day actually. If you want to consult about meditativeness, it takes several hours to even to explain the beginning of that. It's not knowing these facts, it is about how you perceive yourself internally. Are you really nervous, fidgety, anxious, or your thoughts are going all over, or you are having a depressive, sad feelings for even small things, and you cannot get it back to normal. You cannot enjoy simple things in life. You cannot perceive simple things around you, and you don't have any really intimacy with anybody or any particular person or job or all that. So all these things take a completely different meaning when you have control of your own thoughts, not in the sense of suppressing them or giving them complete freedom for thoughts, but use the thought appropriately for the outward things. For the subjective realization, thought is an impediment. Thought made constructs of ego, personality, individuality, they are uh, kind of really obstructions to realization of the self. So meditation means reflect on things, put them in perspective, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about. There's a lot more in this. I do run Be a Pal is my company. BeAPal.net is my website, and I run a wellness club. I have an ebook available there, and I have this stress management for excessive tension for professionals and company leaders, and a transformation leadership program from ego to servant leadership. All those things are available. People can reach me on that, send me a DM. And also, I'm doing a this Saturday a retreat from habits from morning 8 o'clock to evening 3 p.m. Okay. Hope you can attend. If you are interested, send me a request. Then I will send you a Zoom link and you can attend that too. It will be happening on the Zoom. Okay, but you have to put a request on the DM anywhere, Clubhouse or Instagram or Wisdom or any other apps. If you put it there, our team will send you the invitation, and then I will be going through all the aspects of habits, physical, mental, psychological, and all this, and maybe give you a chance to ask your particular question about how to go about changing any habit. What is the simple things that you can do? Reviewing even this habits, I say like I'm getting in the morning and just taking a shower and going away without really taking time to gather myself, be in the silence, do exercise, do breakfast, those kind of things. So I'm going to talk about all that. This was there like 15,000 years ago. I found something like getting up in the morning and exercising, breathing, and emptying the bowel, and then working up a appetite, and then eating breakfast. They were there a long time ago. Those are symptoms of how your immunity is. So you can, it's very important to have the immunity really showed up in this era now. Corona is not going to go away. There are more strains are coming up. So we better work on our immunity too. We have to work against the bug, take the vaccines, keep the distance, and all that. But apart from that, I'm talking about shoring up our immunity. And I found several things that can work with good exercise, good health. Yoga is very good for that. And yoga has routines to improve the lymphatic flow. That's the immunity routine that I show all the time. Anyway, this is, I hope this series added some, at least some questioning about some of the things you have, like questions on your nutrition, questions on the optimization of exercise, questions on your mind control, and how you resting and sleeping, and really using the full bright intellect in a proper way. Okay, that's my intention. I was able to only do a very little part of it. I might have touched 1%. There's so much more to talk about. But I will take up some of them on the Saturday when I can really talk in detail for the people who are interested and who are listening. That's fine. Even one person is there, I'll be talking to them. So I'm happy that some people showed up here and attended to these classes, and I was able to give something out of each topic, and we will go. And I would be very happy if somebody comes and asks questions, then I can answer them. Otherwise, I'll be closing down in a few minutes. Okay. Uh, so there are people on the Wisdom app. If they want to come up, okay. Uh, so Joe Lois is there, and Grace is there. And I don't know, they are still hanging around or kind of going. Kelly is there. Uh, so there are 13 members there. Uh, but that's okay. I'm content to just say my piece, and Clubhouse, I have been not absent on Clubhouse for a long time. I'm coming back again. But then I have so much work, so many obligations. With the more I open up my work, the more I get it. That's okay. But as I said, I do with my hands with a silent mind. So I am like this all the time, and this is very, very helpful for me when I'm doing my work. Completely immersed, completely into enjoying the work in flow. And when you do the work, you don't feel like you're tired because you are in flow. It's a wonderful feeling, right? Even driving is in flow, going and working in there, facing the new challenges without expectations, just accepting what is also very good. And then being silent in difficult situations helps you to get creative, to get new ideas and all. Thank you very much. And I'll be closing the room if nobody's coming up, and I'll be seeing you again as and when I can see. But the Saturday is open, and already some people registered, so it will happen. And we will be doing that all day, and people can pop up in and review their habits and get some suggestions. But it will be structure. We will do that 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock with a lunch break and a couple of breaks in between, and we will take one thing at a time. All the pillars of wellness will be taken. All your eating habits, exercise habits, and your rest and sleep habits, and your meditation habits will be reviewed, and we will see whether we can make any suggestions or really celebrate your habits. Thank you. I'll be seeing you again.